Boom! Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the Live Connection podcast. We're a variety group that likes talking about tech, gaming, and all things in between. How's it going, guys?
When have we ever talked about tech?
I mean, gaming is technical. I'm sure we brought up CES.
We've talked about computer applications and stuff like that. Peter, start over.
You want to talk about tech? Let's talk about the application DocuSign, which I just found out about 10 minutes ago.
What would you rate DocuSign?
I would give DocuSign a 0 out of 10 because they want me to adopt a stamp or upload a stamp to sign their documents. They give you a piddly little section. So if I take a screenshot of an already existing file, or I just don't have a stamp available, I can't put anything in there except a blank-ass screenshot. I need to sign these stupid-ass documents online because of COVID-19. I don't know why this application doesn't work. When I sign, it's totally fine. I can just sign my signature with my mouse pad. But no, DocuSign wants me to adopt a stamp or learn how to speak Japanese. I don't have a Japanese keyboard. It doesn't work. Fuck you, DocuSign.
Well, that's Jack's morning. How are you?
Sponsored by the opposition of DocuSign.
Signing DocuSign.
Hey, DocuSign, please sponsor us.
I don't think they will after that.
I think they will.
They could show like version A, Jack, and then after using DocuSign more, yeah, pretty much. Jack is like, wow, these stamps are a nice, convenient way for me to sign my documents.
I'm so angry. I didn't press
Jack
record.
Jack is the sellout man.
So no, I just have to download the fucking VOD.
Jarrod, you were a bad streamer, not me. You were the bad streamer now.
I'm not streaming, I was recording. I'm a bad recorder.
You're a bad content creator. How's your ball? It looks very comfortable there. I'm glad you have the...
Well, I figured since the ball couldn't be in the show up here with me, it could be in the show back there.
Oh, I'm glad.
Wow.
I'm glad the ball's a constant.
Are you telling me that's not your girlfriend in that chair?
No, that's not my girlfriend. You can look very close to the camera and you'll see that it's not my girlfriend.
Put like a wig on it.
I'll be damned. What do you do? So what, Peter? What do you have for us?
What do I have for
you? Looking at
what
your
tech
screen.
do you have to talk about?
Yeah, you're looking at your screen.
This is tech, I guess. I was, scrolling through the internet as I do, and I saw a surprising headline.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Netflix is making a Cuphead show.
Oh,
yeah.
They're also making a real quick, while on the topic, they're making a cyberpunk anime.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
It's like not releasing till like 2 years away, though, isn't it? It was a while away.
2022, but
I was surprised about
it's still
that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I could see that being quite the project to just start. Like any of those animated shows would be.
They should have started a while ago. Cyberpunk or whoever you messed up. Anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that comes down to making a deal between the two companies on who's getting what from who.
Start working.
Well, The Witcher show came like 4 years after the Witcher game, so.
But I mean,
here's the thing.
They should have started at the beginning of Skyrim, so that they could have gotten The Witcher 3 out on time.
I don't think Cyberpunk. I think as like an IP, it's like pretty disjointed. And in fact, if they were just making like a Cyberpunk show, like without having the rights, they could still call it Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk is kind of like a genre, like steampunk. So I'm not sure, is it in conjunction with like CD Projekt Red or okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
On their like Livewire show where they like do announcements sort of thing, they announced it there. So yeah, no, it's directly related.
Interesting.
Which is, I was surprised to be honest. Like I know people are hyped for it, but it's not even out yet. Like that's a lot of trust in the IP and the brand.
Yeah, I'll say.
Well, I mean, and just that goes on to talking about people who have currently played the betas of it and said that the game is just fucking insane. Like a lot of them are like, this game is next level gameplay, graphically, and yeah, I mean, every time I look at something that someone's like, yeah, we played 5 hours of Cyberpunk, and they said it was like the best experience of their life. And I mean, they just dropped that new trailer a couple days ago, I think, and it looked like more of an in-game cinematic rather than like just a cinematic trailer. Like I think it looked like the parts of the game where it would be a cinematic trailer.
Well,
you know what I mean,
they showed gameplay as well, and they showed a lot of cool stuff, and it was only in the prologue of the game, first couple hours. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's that trailer.
A creator I really like, or a few creators, they actually have quests and themselves in the game. So Jesse Cox he's in the game and he gives you a quest where he's like pants. Like obviously we don't know much. You just see a screenshot and he doesn't have pants, so you're like, okay, this will be fun.
It's the perfect game to incorporate like YouTubers and stuff like that because it's all about basically technology and advancement through.
As long as you do it in a smart way and not just like reference to creator, look at them in our game.
Have two guys walking around with beards and call them the beard bros.
Are those brothers that have beards?
Oh man.
Man.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Cyberpunk. A game I've not regretted pre-ordering so far.
Well, you can't because it's not out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't have regret yet. You want to know what I do have regret about, though? Using the Mixer platform, because that's no longer a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Rest in peace. Do you guys think that Facebook Gaming's gonna have like a bump from this? Like, do you think?
I think it'll maybe go up a bit just because it has a bit more focus on it and more people are going to be moving to it.
Jarrod, can I?
But it's not going to surpass.
What can you focus?
It's not going to surpass YouTube Gaming or Twitch at all.
He just got a phone call from DocuSign. They want to sponsor us.
There are some fairly big streamers on Facebook Gaming. Like Stone Mountain is solely on Facebook Gaming, and he's actually really big.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people on Facebook. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What they need to do, I think, to improve the platform is make it so you don't have to sign into Facebook to use it. Make it so there's a Facebook gaming app, specifically, so that you can just watch streams or whatever and not have to deal with the boomer social media.
Yeah.
So, I don't have COVID-19, boys. That was the phone call. Thank you.
That's good.
Well, I have to do bi-weekly testing, right? Because of the clinic. So they were just calling to tell me my test results were negative again. So
okay, for a second, I thought you said you did have it. I was like,
"Hey, Jack, did you enjoy that sushi last night?"
Yeah, that was awesome. It was really good to see you for the first time in 6 months.
This is wet.
Person. Could you imagine the first time I saw Graydon and Jarrod in person and they kill me? It's been 5 months of seeing none of my friends in person. And then as soon as we're reunited, I die.
They take your shares of live connection.
That's our actual strategy. We're slowly killing everyone off so that we can take everything.
Maybe that's how we'll get views. It's like a murder mystery.
The COVID-19 murder mystery.
Oh
my God.
Trademark it.
Vlogging our friends' murders.
No, I agree with you though, Eric. I think they need to definitely individualize Facebook gaming if they're gonna make it anything. Because right now, you can barely find it. You really have to go searching to find anything in reference to their streaming. I find there's nothing that pops up on my interface that immediately is go here for Facebook streaming or whatever.
The average Joe will have no idea and just go to YouTube or Twitch.
It's just we streamed on Facebook for quite a while, and there was zero growth, not a single person in months and months and months. It's
yeah, we get this occasional random on our Facebook page, and then the rest of it would just be nothing. Yeah. Even us posting videos,
it's always 3 months later.
Yeah. But even if our Facebook had some like volume going to it, like you have a lot of, that'd be nice because it's an easy platform to post our news to. I know we have our Discord now, which is super easy too. But for people that are new to us and aren't part of the Discord, they can just go on our Facebook page and check everything out. But we stopped really posting anything there because it was doing nothing for us. Even when we used like Facebook ads, it was doing absolutely nothing for us. In fact, I think that was the worst investment that we've done with regards to ad revenue and stuff like that.
Goodbye money.
Wow.
At least with Google ads, we were getting impressions. Facebook ads, we were literally just getting nothing.
I don't know. What about the Fallout 76 giveaway? I think that one didn't age very well.
That didn't age very well, but that also is our most popular podcast, is the one that we talked about Fallout 76.
Well, that's also the first episode, though.
Mm.
The first episode.
I went back and was like, what did I use for tags? What did I use for anything? It was just so...
That's the podcast episode that's on all the feed playlists.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to putting every topic in the title.
Oh man, wouldn't that be something? Anyways, yeah. So, what have you guys been up to this weekend? You been doing anything fun? Anything exciting?
I just been looking at that truck, doing my budgeting, seeing if I can get it.
Oh, budgeting!
I got my current truck appraised, which was nice. My current truck is apparently worth, like, on the high end $10,000 and on the low end $8,000. So that was nice to hear because I sure as hell, like, I know I keep it in good condition and I like fix everything and he's fixing on it. But I still didn't expect a truck that was a 2004 to be worth that much. But I also have like the all-terrain package on it, so it aged a lot better than a lot of the other versions did. Yeah, it's basically just
he pre-ordered the off-road edition of his truck back in 2003.
But I went to the dealership and talked to them, so now I'm just kind of playing around with money and seeing how things go. I know COVID's hurt them a lot, the GMC dealership. All the dealerships, just because since the U.S. is starting to open up and they had that time of closure, they weren't making trucks or any of their vehicles very often. So now what's going to happen is when they start replacing or start making and producing more, they're going to manufacture for the States first and then manufacture for Canada second, just because they get more demand in the States just on pure population, right? So it depends. I'm not really in a rush anyways. Like I said that to the guy because he's like, well, we don't really know what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And I was like, I'm not really in a rush to get it.
Take it.
It's not like I'm, and he was super nice about it. Like, I actually enjoyed my experience because I found anytime I've usually talked to dealership, like car sales dealerships, it always felt like they were pushing it on you. And I'm not usually, I don't really care. Like, I'm going to say no if I'm going to say no. I don't care how much you try to upsell me on something. But he didn't seem like that. It was more just like, because I went in there purely to see what my budgeting would have to be to get it and see what like the bi-weekly payments would be and is it affordable, is it not affordable. So, that's good. So it's, I'm going to see in the next few months, I might be driving a new vehicle, which would be kind of nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's my news. That's my new news.
I'm trying to remember. Have we talked about Dead by Daylight on the podcast before? I think I'm not sure if we have because we've been playing it.
I was gonna say we've mentioned it like that we're playing it, but we've never really gone into any detail about it.
Anyone who follows us has probably seen us playing it, but I've just got to say I've not had this much fun with a game in a long time. Like a multiplayer game that we all consistently get on and are willing to play with one another, probably since like Overwatch, honestly.
Yeah, I'd say so because we ended Smite just before Overwatch, or they kind of were in sync with each other. They were kind of back and forth, but then eventually Overwatch took over as our main.
The prime of Smite was before Overwatch.
Yeah, we really played the shit out of that game. Yeah. But no, it's been super fun. We've had a hard time not recording it when we end these podcasts because it's so much fun. Like there's so much good potential in the footage with this game because there's just good moments.
So much content. Well, I mean, Peter's probably like drowning in funny moments to turn into highlights for the channel.
There's a lot of good moments, a lot of cringe, and a lot of good moments.
Yeah. So that's
good.
No,
and they keep bringing out new killers. Like, it's neat that they're still, even a game that old, they're still supporting it. I mean, it's got the volume now, especially going on Game Pass and on Steam sale. I feel like
don't they have an anniversary coming up?
The anniversary event's on right now.
I just hate him.
Sorry.
That's not funny, Peter.
No, because it was a throwback to the last stream, to Friday, when I made the joke about the anniversary.
Nah.
Was it funny then?
No.
It wasn't funny
then. No, it wasn't funny then.
Well, I thought you'd have like a multiplier on it now.
A multiplier? I've used this joke multiple times in a row. It's a ×5 comedy.
Exactly.
To be fair, comedy is about repetition sometimes.
See, enough.
But if the joke wasn't good to begin with, then
I'm gonna keep telling
the repetition.
Like this anniversary joke, I'm gonna wait till you guys all burst out laughing, and then I'll let the joke die. But until then,
it'll be laughing at you, not with you.
Doesn't matter as long as there's laughs at the joke.
It's like with Peter with sponsorships. It doesn't matter how he gets sponsored or who he gets sponsored by. He'll accept anyone's dirty blood money.
A victory is a victory. Doesn't matter how you look at it.
I thought back on Dead by Daylight, if it was any other company that was making it, like any big producer or whatever, it would have been Dead by Daylight 2 by now, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's surprising that they're still like, yeah, we'll actively update the game and keep the user base up.
It's nice that it has microtransactions, but they don't shove it down your throat. It's not like, we're not going to let you play the game properly unless you spend $20 a month on skins and cosmetics and the battle pass and all that stuff. It's very refreshing, you know?
Well,
you know, a free game that you can choose to spend some money on, basically. It's really nice to see.
Well, I mean, it does cost
sort of free.
Yeah, it does cost to buy it, but we get it through Game Pass.
It would be nice. It would be nice to see them do something like Smite did in League of Legends, where they do like an occasional free, like this week, this killer is free to play for everyone. Just to
rotation.
Yeah, just to give people some incentive to buy, right? Because that's part of the issue. Like, I bought the Clown, and what a horrible purchase that was. I got it on sale because I kind of figured it was horrible, considering I've never seen a single person play as the Clown. But it is literally the killer that does absolutely jack shit. I throw a bottle of alcohol at you, and it makes you drunk for a couple seconds, and it's not even close to enough time for me to catch you as the killer.
You should go start a business without alcohol rather than just throwing it at survivors.
I know. The best thing, all you have to do to make that alcohol is hit it with your knife and then shake it, and then all of a sudden you have magic alcohol you can throw at people.
You could scale up so easily.
Yeah.
It's a great business model.
Yeah, my net profit would be huge from that. I would have no manufacturer costs. It'd be 10 minutes for me just to go like this to a few bottles and then go.
Sell it out of your kitchen.
Your overheads are nothing.
Yeah.
What a life that would be.
But yeah, I looked at a couple different sites for like killer rankings and stuff, and consistently the Clown's at the bottom.
Well, I don't understand. Like, he has potential, but they just don't, like, you guys are stunned for like 2 seconds. And realistically, when you're chasing someone, especially when you throw something and you might as well be drunk as the killer, because I'm like looking at Peter's character and I lob it like 25 feet in the air like I'm going for the fucking end game throw in a football game. And I'm just like, why? What is the point of, like, I literally, there was one point where I was chasing Erik in the game, and I threw the first one and it went way over him. Like, it just fucking missed by a mile. And I was staring at him. I looked at the ground and it hit him. Like, that's how bad his throwing is. There's zero accuracy to it. Like, at least with Dimmadon there, you can
Yeah.
You can aim down the iron sights. Or I even played the Huntress the other day, and she is very direct. Like wherever the middle of your screen is looking, that's where the axe is going to go.
Yeah, I played the Huntress last night since she's free, and she seemed pretty decent,
She's
honestly.
free?
Yeah, or she was on when I checked the store. Her chapter was completely free, so you get her and another survivor for $0.
That would explain why so many people have been playing as her.
Yeah.
And she is apparently the top tier in the meta.
Yeah. Well, she has one really good teachable perk. It's the one that makes it harder for you to do generators.
Oh.
So.
Well, that's that one that we were complaining when it would make the noise, but the thing would start before the noise was made. It was
exactly.
It made it really hard.
Yeah, it's a hex perk. So if you cleanse the hex, then you'd be good. But it's so hard to find those totems sometimes.
Yeah.
So
that's what that was.
Dang.
I learned something today in the stream. I didn't realize you could cleanse that one. I thought it was just something that I thought it was like placed on certain generators, and if you got it, then you were screwed.
No, yeah. I'm not entirely sure how the hex system works. I think when the game starts, it automatically goes to a certain totem on the map, and then all the other totems are dull totems. But I'm not entirely sure how the hex mechanic works.
Yeah. I think a few of the other killers have something similar to that, where they have you need to use the hex totem to get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's a super fun game. Like it's even fun. I like how when you're playing a custom game, everything's unlocked to you. So I was saying this to Jack, I think the other day, that it's nice that you can improve your skills by facing better, like different players, and being restricted on perks in the online match. But then you can go test and play around with different stuff, different combinations in the custom games with your friends, and see what and kind of get a feel for what works better against certain killers and things like that. So I think they did a really good job of just the overall development of this game. Like it's just a well-rounded game.
Wow, that's like
a lot deeper than you would think, with all of the different status effects that can be applied to just individual characters too. Like some status effects only apply to Meg Thomas, some only apply to Dwight Fairfield or whatever. That's cool.
I went on the wiki to see what all the different status effects mean. It's actually insane how many different status effects there are that can be applied in really unique circumstances that you would never see in other cases.
Yeah.
It's I was thinking it's too bad you can't customize what's in the chests on the maps, because it'd be fun to do a game where it's you put a key, there's only one chest in the game, but you put a key in, and that key can open the hatch for the 30 seconds. So the whole point of the game would be you have to try to find the key, and then that's the way you have to escape or something like that. I don't know, I've been trying to find new ways for us to record that game because I've been enjoying it so much that we can actually find a unique angle to it. It's not just the same video over and over again.
So the Dead by Daylight developers, I just want to say they also developed Doritos Crash Course. That's the same people.
Best developer.
You're telling me they're the best developer on Earth.
Everyone has to break into the industry, Peter. They can't just start out as stars.
They did Shadow of Mordor. They did Fallout Shelter.
Shadow of Mordor? That's a completely different game from it. All right.
Huge. That was
they've done a lot.
That was actually one of my. I really enjoyed that Shadow of Mordor game. It was really fun.
That makes sense that they would be WB with all of the different properties they get.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost like a bigger company that doesn't do big schemy things.
That's really interesting.
Because I was going to be Jarrod, very high praise for an indie company. But I was let's Google this first.
Yeah, before you make a fool of yourself.
I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get better with that.
Good work.
Room for self-improvement. I'm proud of you, Peter.
I think they're technically an indie company because they don't seem to be owned by anyone.
Well, they're probably
seems like they're
a lot for games from companies. Which I think that'd be a better way to go. Anytime, I feel like a lot of the time when indie companies get bought out, they just get dragged into the company that bought them, all their shit that they're dealing with. Whereas if you kept indie companies separate, but you contracted them for work, you get a better result because you keep more of their fan base. You just have to let that company do a little more of their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Jackal is in the YouTube chat, says, why are you guys not live on Mixer?
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry, Jackal. That was your home. That's how we found you. But
Mixer is the Vine of video streaming.
It's very true. That's a great way to put it.
I don't think people will be saying bring back Mixer though.
No, probably not. But it's comparable. It didn't last for very long. The people who did use it, loved it.
I'm sure Ninja loved it.
We're probably going to get some good memes out of it.
I'm sure Ninja loved that $30 million that's in his pocket now.
Man.
Damn it.
I can't wait till Twitch shuts down and tells us that they're going to give us $30 million.
They're not. I mean, have you seen what happened with Dr. Disrespect?
Yeah, that's true.
Because they within the last couple months, they made this big promo for him, how he's exclusively on Twitch.
He must have done something bad though.
Because there's a couple
no one's even talking about it, so it's
I saw a couple things online saying it might be permanent too.
It is permanent.
Is it confirmed?
Yeah.
Confirmed
permanent.
Damn.
Well,
damn.
The one article I was reading was talking about how he wasn't sure why he was banned. But I feel like that's everyone's story when something like that happens. They're like, I don't understand why I did that.
But
anytime you get banned from something.
Permanent ban, that's serious. That's no joke.
I've seen clips from the end of his last stream, and he starts to act real weird. He's playing, and then he's just we're all champions. We're gonna get through. Fuck! And he then it just cuts away, and it's something's. I think something bad happened. Because for it to be permanent, Twitch is rolling out some pretty severe stuff with kind of everything going around, and I think what he did must have been not good.
Wow.
Well, and the fact that you can't find it anywhere, right? You can't find any video proof of why he was banned or anything like that.
I'm thinking it's probably a legal thing, which is why they can't bring it up.
Probably. I mean, honestly, respect to Twitch and the fact that they're trying to keep their communities appropriate and things like that. So I mean, it's kind of nice, but
they've been bad for it in the past. So it's good to see that they're making some change.
Out of curiosity, Eric, are you suggesting that maybe it's sexual misconduct related, given all the allegations going around from female streamers right now?
That's kind of my theory, but I have no idea.
Because he was banned a day after Twitch was saying we're going to start taking action by permanently banning people. Mm-hmm. So it's hard not to link the two.
Yeah, totally. And permanently banning one of your big players, coming
just
straight off the heels,
a lot of money in.
Straight off the heels of that announcement. That kind of looks like a smoking gun, doesn't it? Wow.
Shit's crazy.
Yeah, shit is crazy. Hey, Jarrod.
It definitely makes it, it's going to make a big difference in the end, because you're going to have a lot of streamers that are going to change the way they do things, or they're just going to be done. But it's going to change a bit of the landscape for viewers and shit like that. Which is why, we have pretty strict guidelines too, right? For our stuff, we stay pretty strong on what our group kind of stands for. So, I think that's a good way to do it, considering a lot of the platforms we use are starting to really crack down on a lot of that stuff. So
it's really good that none of the members of Live Connection sexually harass anybody.
That's good.
Yeah.
That will help us out.
It's good that we have morals.
Have those.
Yeah. So good. Although I will say Eric's looking pretty hot today.
It's most days for
Thanks,
Erik.
Boo.
It is most days for Erik.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
So I saw an article this morning saying how EA plans to double down on their Star Wars games, which, I mean, for a while I thought
About time.
I thought it was it for them. Like Star Wars Battlefront 2, I thought Disney was going to pull out the rug from them. But I guess Fallen Order came out, Battlefront got better. Now Squadrons, I think it's called.
Squadron.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really, apparently from what I was hearing from some of the people, again, who have tested early betas of it, apparently it's a pretty decent game. But I mean, obviously you gotta take that with a grain of salt, right? Because a lot of the people they tell to test their games usually are in it for something with the company that they're testing it for. So I mean, I usually take it with a grain of salt when I hear
I played
that
the
kind of
beta
stuff.
and it was shit. Thanks to EA for sponsoring this message.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with Erik. It's about time. Like, I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 the other day because I heard Erik telling me how it was gotten a lot better. And it does now, it's very reminiscent now of the older Battlefront games. It's like improved graphics with a better style like that. Fallen Order was a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed that game, and I'm looking forward because there's supposed to be a sequel to it, or there was, I think they said there's a new sequel to it. So I'm pretty excited about that because that game is fun. That was like a Dark Souls-y Star Wars game, just with I mean, obviously not as hard as Dark Souls, but like that challenge, like the opponents weren't just easy. Like I found it in Force Unleashed. It was a fun game, but man, after the first area, you were just absolutely unstoppable.
It's more of
you
a
could just
hack
go
and
around
slash.
like Force Lightning and just chucking people around. And I mean, that was kind of the part of the fun about it, right? Was the fact that you were this unstoppable machine. But I mean, I think it's been a long time since a game really made me just kind of sit there and like, oh my god moment. But I mean, at this point, I don't think it's much of a spoiler. Sorry if you haven't played the game yet, but at the end when Darth Vader is walking down the hallway after you, it's fucking insane. Like, it's the coolest cinematic. Has he not played it? Is that why
he has? He's done this to me before.
Lord.
He did this exact same thing to me.
Hey, Peter, how'd you like the end of Game of Thrones after Matt spoiled it for you?
I forgot that happened.
I tried to forget.
It's right off Peter's face.
I tried to forget about that. Why did I even watch? I shouldn't have even watched it. If I could go back in time, I'd tell me, don't even watch Game of Thrones. Matt's gonna spoil it from you. It's gonna be.
It's not even gonna be worth it.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for a service to watch it, only to have that money wasted.
Too bad.
Jarrod, I agree. That scene at the end of Fallen Order, like
It was tough.
where it's the Inquisitor talking, and then you just see her like freeze up, and then you hear like the breathing and footsteps. I lost my shit. I was like, there's no way they're doing this right now.
So epic, and it really defined, like, there's not a lot of moments, especially in the movies, really, except for at the end of Rogue One, where they really established the power of Darth Vader. Because, like, in the old movies, they didn't necessarily have the video, like the cinematic ability to truly amplify his power. And in this game, at the end of Rogue One, they really showed that he wasn't just like the battle
man in a suit.
I was gonna say him and Obi-Wan Kenobi on this Death Star was the funniest fight ever. It's like done. So it's like, it was nice to see a game that really showed his power, and it was epic. Like, you running away, I was just enthralled in that moment.
Evan talks about this all the time, but where I think it's either Evan or Alec, that part where it breaks the glass when you're in the like water tunnel and he's like holding the water. Apparently that shows that like Darth Vader has insane strength because they're so deep underwater that the pressure is like intense. So him being able to do that is like basically pulling like what a Star Killer does, where he pulls down a Star Destroyer in Force Unleashed.
I think they're at the point now where they could start, because like BioWare's has had Star Wars: The Old Republic going for a long time now, and it's still they've improved it, which is nice that they constantly do updates for it. The graphics get better as they do updates for it. So I think it's now time where they can start having more games that delve into that RPG, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that. They could really go for another game.
I don't think EA's gonna give them the money.
What?
I don't think BioWare.
No, I'm not saying BioWare should create it. I'm saying now we have the more opportunity to do games that style.
Like it. Okay.
Where it's that RPG element, where it's like your choices. You can choose to be dark side, light side, where you want to go.
I thought you were like,
Obsidian
BioWare
should do it.
This is your time to come back and make this product. I was like, no. EA.
Obsidian are the ones who made Knights of the Old Republic too. Anyways, so
yeah, and it was an excellent game.
Yeah, I like it honestly more than the first one, but that's because I played it first.
But I think the second one's being ported to mobile. Something like maybe.
It's on Xbox backwards compatible.
Yeah.
See, my problem with Obsidian is like, what if someone came by with a diamond pickaxe? Then all that work is gone. Like, I don't know. It's just like all these developers just Thanos, man.
How many pop culture references are you gonna fucking make in one bit?
That's what the kids like, Jarrod.
Severus Snape. He's just Avada Kedavra's the Pikachu, and then Ganondorf comes in, and he's like, "Oh,
Oh, Erik appealing to the kids. Watch out, you're gonna bring Fortnite into this next." Yeah, there you go.
Again, comes flossing across the screen.
Jeez.
I liked my.
No, like I'm totally ready for another RPG like that because I mean, but like Star Wars: Old Republic is great, and the new DLC they released for it was really good. Like the choices were pretty sick, and they kind of converged both the light side and dark side because in the early game, for initial base game, you never met each other. Like there was never a point where you'd be on a world and you'd see a Jedi and a Sith. Whereas in the Fallen Empire and the other one with I think it was Deception, they kind of crossed that bridge where it's like, okay, you're in a world and you can see Jedi, you can run into them, and that it just kind of changed that landscape.
yeah."
It'd be really nice to see them incorporate. I don't necessarily mean like have another MMO because I feel like then it's just going to be pure competition between Star Wars: The Old Republic and then that game. But like have another choice-based Star Wars game, like another RPG game, because they haven't had a really good RPG game come out in a decent amount of time. And
I think the climate is right for like a big Star Wars RPG, like what Jarrod's talking about, because people, let's be honest, a lot of fans did not like the new movies. The nice poster above Eric's right shoulder there.
I don't even like this movie.
Yeah, I still have that poster. I just like threw it in my storage room because like I took this from the movie theater after seeing a movie I didn't like. Like it's bad, and you know, there's not much more you can say about it. Yeah, there's sure,
poorly
but,
written.
like people who like Star Wars, which is most people to some extent, they want to explore like not just stuff they know, but stuff they might not know. And that's what made all those old games great, is you're exploring like thousands of years before, you know, episode 1 or whatever. And you get to see all the canon and the lore behind that, which I think is pretty cool. And, you know, I think people want to do that. So let us have that.
I will say the one thing I did like about Rise of Skywalker is they made the yellow lightsaber canon, whereas it wasn't prior to that point. So I was
canon though, because in the Star Wars Clone Wars show, it has it's like the Jedi Temple Guards or something.
Yeah,
I forget what they're called. They have yellow lightsabers.
Yeah, they have the pikes, don't they?
It's just full on yellow lightsabers.
Okay, I take that back. It was already canon.
Nothing good about Rise of Skywalker then.
But I didn't mind it. Like it was a decent movie. I thought there's a lot of plot holes and shit like that, but I mean it was pretty neat. I can have fun with it. I like the new cinematics that they have for Star Wars. It makes everything sound so much better and look so much cooler. So I mean, I enjoyed that part of it. I'd like to see them go back. Like I'm tired of this. Like there's one Jedi, one evil person, and they kind of clash. It'd be nice to go back into like the Old Republic times and have more like multiple Jedi, multiple Siths. Like go to some of the big Sith Lords or something, or go to some of the bigger Jedis like Satele Shan and stuff like that. it'd be interesting to see how they could incorporate that, especially since BioWare technically laid out the landscape to do movies for those games with their books and everything. So
yeah,
I feel like they'd have a good chance of making a good movie out of that. And it's especially it's lore that hasn't, unless you're real like a pretty decent Star Wars fan, a lot of people don't know a lot of the Old Republic lore. They know Phantom Menace up of Star Wars lore, and that is about it.
Yeah. Any average fan wouldn't know much.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about thousands of years of lore built upon by, hundreds of people working on the books. And actually, something interesting I learned recently is that after the original Star Wars movies came out, there was not a Star Wars property for about 5 years or so. And then a tabletop role-playing company called West End Games made the original Star Wars tabletop role-playing game. And they expanded on a lot of the lore. So a lot of the lore that came out of like the 90s and the original like Thrawn trilogy and all that stuff was actually written by the people who wrote the tabletop role-playing game, the original one. Because
that's cool.
The one that we play now, the new Star Wars role-playing game, is by a different company. But the original one was like basically wrote a lot of the expanded lore, or established a lot of the expanded lore for the Star Wars universe. So that's a little tidbit of information for you.
That'd be a nice accomplishment to have, like just knowing that, like.
Yeah, because like when the guy, whoever it was who wrote the Thrawn series and all the other stuff, like I think George Lucas literally handed him a stack of source books for the Star Wars role-playing game. He's like, "Here's your research material.
Have fun.
Read up."
Yeah.
Nice.
This is kind of on the top. It's a Disney property, but I had this thought the other day that I love Marvel movies and I always will, but I will never forgive them for what they've done to comedy in movies, in that a lot of action scenes now have, I'm gonna make quirky quips while in the thick of it, because that's what heroes do. It's
every hero is Spider-Man.
Stop doing that. That's not what people do in dangerous situations. You're not like, oh, here we go again. Better get going. No, you just go. You
wanted more?
You know what? I still think one of my favorite quirky quips was when it was the Hulk Loki scene. I think that's still one of my favorite scenes of any Marvel movie. Was when Hulk goes up there and he's like, you can't talk to me like this. I'm a god, and he just like fucking whips him back and forth.
Like it works in Marvel movies, and it always will because they're centered around that. But I hate that like Star Wars has started to incorporate it and like other properties. It's like, I don't know. It works for superheroes because the format's always been written around them having those quips. Like in the comics, Spider-Man's quipping and I don't know, everyone's quipping, but like I didn't see Luke being like, "Hello, Father, we meet again."
I almost think they should have taken a darker route with the newest trilogy. Like they made it very up and like the hero always wins, but I think they should have really taken a darker route. Like I don't think they need to make it like R-rated. But like, keep it the same rating, but just take the story in a bit of a darker route, and maybe have the end if you want to be like, yay, the heroes always win, and have the end up and they win. But like, I think that they had too much of like every new movie was literally they had some glorious victory that was up, and I think they could have changed that. I think they should have taken a darker route. It would have changed the dynamic a little.
I saw a great comparison where it's like the feel between the last movies in the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, where the sequel trilogy, it has Rey holding both lightsabers, deflecting the lightning, being like, "I'm a Jedi," using her power and everything. And then in the original trilogy, it's Luke standing over Darth Vader, and he goes, "No, I'm a Jedi like a father before me." Throws the lightsaber away because, they're not about combat and like all that bullshit. instead of being like,
I will say that is one of the reasons they gave her the yellow lightsaber. Because the lore behind the yellow lightsaber is they are Sith hunters. That is what they are. They're
supposed to be in between, like neutral, but like it just kind of shows that they didn't really catch the feel of what a Jedi should be in those movies. And I'm always just going to be of the opinion now that they should have written out the trilogy before making it, and not just be like, oh, we'll have
at least
one director do something,
like
another director, and then the other guy comes back.
Yeah, but I think they'll do good if they did the earlier lore, because it would make some of the stuff make more sense. Because there's a lot of references which are in the new trilogy that refer to stuff way before the first trilogy and then the prequels. Unless you knew the lore, a lot of it makes no sense whatsoever as to why something's happening. Like the planet they're on in that movie is only mentioned in the Old Republic. It is never mentioned anywhere else. It'd be like them randomly having them show up on Korriban and have this big, large Sith temple and being like, we're just here. This planet just came to fruition out of nowhere.
That was like in the
some fans would be like,
sequel,
cool.
Yeah. It's like,
I'd be like, but there'd be people that'd be like, what the fuck is Korriban? Why are we here? What's the significance of this?
Well, that did happen in the first sequel movie, Force Awakens. I think that's the one it was called. It's like, oh, we're on Jakku. I'm like, what the fuck's a Jakku?
The best thing is everyone thought when the initial trailer came out, everyone thought Tatooine. That is immediately where everyone's mind went, because it's the other, it's the well-known desert planet. Yeah. Again, Jakku's only mentioned in some of the books. It's not even mentioned in any of the games.
They're literally the same planet.
Yeah.
Different name.
Desert. It's like one shit rock, other schemy shit rock. One's a little more schemy because of the huts, but that's about it. That's the only comparison.
Yeah.
I will say, still to this day, I think Rogue One's one of my favorite Star Wars movies now.
Really? I didn't like Rogue One.
I really enjoyed again, they went that darker route with it. It wasn't this super glorious, it was just like one shitty situation after the other. But I just enjoyed kind of the dynamic between the characters they had in that one. They didn't make the rebels seem like this super positive group. Like, it was more on the lines of how war really would be, right? Where it's like every side makes really shitty decisions, and it's not just, oh, you're the heroes, you're the villains, you only make bad decisions, you only make good decisions, right? Like, they showed a couple different dynamics to it, and I really enjoyed that of that movie.
It's almost what they were going for in the sequel trilogy, at least with the last movie, but it feels like they just didn't commit to it.
I think they got pressured too much by fans to do something similar to what it was, and it turned out that fans didn't like what they did, but I think they were feeling too much pressure. They needed to just focus, pick the story and stick with it. You're going to have people that don't like it anyways, and but do something slightly different. Don't just literally take the structure of the originals and then paste new faces over top of it. That was my biggest complaint.
There's so much wasted space, especially in the second two movies of the sequel trilogy. I think Force Awakens actually was a pretty good way to start. It got me pretty hyped for what was to come. I liked The Force Awakens. After that, they didn't bother on really expanding on the story or what makes it good, and they just anything that didn't make sense or wasn't good, they just painted a big red X over and was like, just don't look at this. This doesn't matter. Don't forget about our mistakes.
I would agree with that. The first movies were good, and they gave flack for that one scene where she takes on Kylo Ren, and she's not trained in lightsabers. But again, if people read the books about the Immortal Emperor, before he became the Immortal Emperor, he had a feat where I think there was a Sith Lord that went to his home village, and he absolutely just destroyed him because he was just naturally gifted in the Force. And I don't know, that movie got, I think, a little too much flack for what it deserved. I thought it was a pretty good movie. The second one was so many unnecessary scenes in it.
Casino Planet. I would die on this hill. I hate Casino Planet.
I really like The Last Jedi, except the Casino Planet. Everything besides that is really fun.
Yeah.
But I've seen someone say that, like, J.J. Abrams, establishes everything in The Force Awakens, and then at the end, it has Rey, like, it's almost like he's passing off the baton or the torch to another director. And then the next movie comes, Rian Johnson's like, fuck that torch. I don't want to do that. We're doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go back to what J.J. Abrams is doing, so it's just like back and nonsense.
I think if the middle movie followed more in tune with the first movie, the third movie would have been a little bit better received, more of what people would have expected. But even the casino scenes wouldn't have been so bad if they actually had fucking relevance to the goddamn story.
It means nothing in the end.
Yeah, it didn't even affect the outcome of the whole thing. They got caught and nothing actually happened.
A little boy is a Jedi, and there'll be a movie about him or something.
Yeah.
I also love the shady guy that they meet on Casino Planet. He goes to the ship and goes to the computers like, oh, this guy sold weapons to the bad guys and the good guys. It's like, wow, you're really blowing my mind with this revelation, Star Wars writers.
It's like they took Rogue One's entire story of how they show that both sides make bad choices and put it in one sentence. They're like, they sold it to this and this.
They're like, all right, we got 20 minutes of extra runtime. We need 5 minutes of them getting in and 10 minutes of them giving out. So then we have, 5 minutes left for content. So fit it all in there.
I love when I'm told the message of the movie.
Exactly.
Can we also just acknowledge the AT Walker? How it's like in Star Wars in Star Wars Return of the Jedi, how they're so clumsy in the forest, like anything touches them, they fall over. And then you have in that end scene of the last Jedi where it's fucking like a gymnast running across the ground that's collapsing in front of it with the BB-1 driving it.
Oh yeah.
I was laughing at those two scenes because I'm like, in one movie the thing gets foiled by logs. In the other movie, the ship's falling apart and it's doing fucking long jump to get across the
bunch of teddy bears were able to take it out with sticks and rope. Like,
oh my god, it's there's just so much mix up. I will say this, like, and this can be an unpopular opinion as it is. Those movies were great. Like, the first trilogy was great for its time because they were different. And that's one of the biggest reasons they were so big, was because they were so different. And they were well directed. But at the same time, it's like, cinematically, they're not great anymore. Like, they didn't hold up really at all. Like, story-wise, they held up, but cinematically...
There's a few great shots, though.
There is.
Like, some iconic shots, like Luke looking at the two suns, that's like... You can't deny that that's beautifully shot.
No.
And then a lot of the space scenes, like, even now, they look real. Because they use just actual dioramas and stuff.
Yeah. The cool... I watched this other video where they did, like, a cinematic remake of the Obi-Wan Vader fight.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that.
And that's actually really well done. Like, I was actually impressed with how they did that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's more what I envisioned, rather than, like... Let's walk back like 25 meters. Walk back a few
apparently,
more.
When they were doing that scene, I think the lightsabers that they were using were very fragile, so that they actually couldn't do much. Like, if they hit it, it would have just shattered.
Well, now you can get them, like, anyone can go buy the really expensive ones, and they're like heavy duty. Like, you can actually go at it. Like, watching those scenes, you have the professionals that do use the swords for fighting, and they go at it. It's pretty cool to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Star Wars.
A
lot of Star Wars. Just randomly.
A lot of Star Wars. But you're totally right, Jarrod. Like, Star Wars really is a product of its time. If you wanted, like, filmed science fiction at that point, you were a Star Trek fan, basically.
Yeah.
So, Star Wars really... Yeah.
That whole, I don't like Star Trek, or I don't like Star Wars. That whole competition came because of that.
Yeah. So Star Wars is really important in that aspect, breaking into cinemas in a major way and not just looking like a weird 60s television show like Star Trek was.
Yeah. Not looking campy.
Where it's like the Men in Black space scene where they have the little UFO on a string as it's going across the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
No, I think it's promising. I think it's a good time for them to start pumping out new Star Wars games, especially with the new consoles coming out. It gives them a little more freedom for making a really high-end game, I think. So
it sucks to think about how all those Star Wars games were canceled, the single-player ones, because EA was no one plays single-player games anymore. But here we are where that's clearly wrong. So now they're just restarting, I'm sure. So
well, it's because it got so saturated with these multiplayer games. Every fucking game is a battle royale or this multiplayer game. It's I don't want to play with people. I want to play on my own for a little bit.
It's a battle royale or a looter shooter. There's no in between.
Yeah, it'd be nice to that's why I think Fallen Order did so good. It was just a good story, and it had a neat twist to it.
Had a lightsaber.
That's why I liked. That's why I liked Outer Worlds so much. It was returning to the simplicity of Fallout.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people. Just because I know we probably want to wrap up here pretty soon. But not to get on too much of a rant before it, but is it they were talking about that, where they were talking about Obsidian remaking the first Fallout game and the second one, but making it a first-person perspective instead of the overhead perspective.
That'd be.
And I think that wouldn't be a bad idea because the stories were really good. Those games are well known for their story. They're just not great
the writing
to play.
is brilliant.
Yeah, they're just not great to play now because it's kind of shitty gameplay. The story's great. I totally. They were talking about how it should return to the West Coast, and I agree with that. I think it should return to the West Coast because that's kind of where the whole thing started. So it'd be neat to go back to that point. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think single-player games are now making their big comeback for people. They want more because we went through, like I said, a huge period of saturation where it was literally every company was like, "Have you played this battle royale game?" Or this looter shooter, and then microtransactions, which were fucking so annoying.
Yep.
It's because multiplayer gets money. That's why.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Well, it's like. I think it is. I was just gonna say it's like Call of Duty. The stories used to be pretty decent, and now their stories are shit in the.
I like the new one.
Did you? I didn't mind it. I thought they did a good remake of it.
I just really like Price. I think Price is actually a really good character.
I think World at War is still my favorite campaign, except for the grenades on Veteran. That was the most annoying fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, anything before Black Ops 1 on Veteran is just kind of rough, because,
Yeah.
Infinite
Back
spawns.
when they were hard. Back when those games were hard, and now it's just I'm on Veteran. This is easy. There's one hard part in the level or something, and then the rest of it's
You just really got to take your time.
Yeah.
Patience.
Yeah. Especially, do you guys remember the Spec Ops for Modern Warfare 2, the Juggernaut ones, trying to beat those on the 3 stars? How much of a nightmare that was?
That's Peter and I went through all of those.
I remember grinding.
Yeah. Great and I did that, and the amount of times we tried that one in that favela area, and then you had there was that one house that was basically the way to beat it was to go in that house and just set up claymores all over the place, and otherwise you really didn't have a chance. It was just
I always think of the airplane yards, the downed airplanes. I can't remember what you were doing in the Spec Ops. I think it was the last one. And I remember
there was a lot of Juggernauts.
I remember getting to a part where you're in a plane and you're kind of looking down over an area. It was near the end of the mission. I remember being oh, all right, guys, we're almost there. Oh.
Yeah, it's intense. They should go back to that. I miss the Spec Ops stuff. I don't think they did a very good job of it in the most recent one.
I was going to say they tried.
They did bring back classic ones after a while.
Oh, did they?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder which download pack that is. Which 15 to 20 gigabyte package that is. I don't know. I'll have to search through all 200 gigabytes.
Compression.
Oh.
What is it?
Hey, if you want to search through all 15 to 20 gigabytes, why don't you follow Live Connection here on Twitter? No, not Twitter. Follow our Twitch. That's where we're streaming. Follow our Twitter too, I guess. We have
Twitcher.
Why not?
Yeah.
I can't wait till Twitter opens up Twitter Gaming in their streaming service.
Oh, finally a reason to jump ship.
Get out of here.
Yeah. If you like this podcast, feel free to join our Discord. That's down below if Peter does his job correctly.
It's all in the defaults.
Perfect. Yeah. So thanks for joining us. And you guys got anything else to add?
Last week's podcast episode went up today on our YouTube channel. You can watch that.
Yeah.
And any highlights that Peter's done. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of highlights.
New Uno video coming out this Wednesday.
Ooh,
nice.
Uno.
Yeah. Watch Peter, Graydon, and I lose our friendship. We had to take a few weeks to patch it up. You wondered why Peter and I have been yelling at each other. It's because of that video.
I never wonder that. You're just always yelling at each other no matter what.
Uno is frustrating. Like, if you watch the video, you'll see. But, like, I rewatched it, and I remember so much rage. What, you tell it? Hey, no, that's my job. Okay. All right. Hello, Crush. Thanks for joining the stream. Sadly, we're ending. Thanks for hanging out, Connor, and whoever else is in the chat. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.